when the stars came to die. The year was 2189, and Earth was dying. Oceans had retreated, forests had burned into ash, and the sky was a pale grey veil that never cleared. Humanity had built cities that reached the clouds, but their brilliance was dimmed by scarcity and silence. People no longer looked up at the stars with hope, but with fear of what might come through them. And then, one night over the skies of Arizona, something finally did. It was not an invasion, not at first. A single vessel descended, vast and silent, gliding like a shadow across the desert sky. People panicked, governments scrambled, soldiers gathered, but when the ship opened, there was no army, only a group of beings unlike anything humanity had ever seen. Tall and luminous, with eyes like liquid silver and skin that shimmered as though made of light. They stepped onto Earth's soil with trembling hands raised in peace. They were not conquerors. They were refugees. Their world had died, devoured by a cosmic catastrophe that even their advanced technology could not prevent. They called themselves the Ilari, and through broken translation and symbols, they begged for sanctuary. Humanity, scarred by centuries of mistrust, argued fiercely. Some saw opportunity, others saw only a threat. Nations debated while hunger deepened and tempers rose. But in the midst of the chaos, small acts of quiet connection began. A soldier named Daniel Hayes, stationed near the desert landing site, was the first to break protocol. He found one of the Ilari, alone at the edge of the camp, shivering beneath the human sky. The alien was young, its voice like a ripple of music, and it told him through gestures that it feared the humans would turn them away. Daniel, who had lost his own family to famine years before, sat beside it and whispered, "You're not alone anymore." In that moment, fear gave way to something fragile but real: trust. Over weeks, the Ilari began to share their knowledge. They showed humanity how to filter water from poisoned earth, how to grow crops beneath dying skies, how to harness solar winds with towers of glass that reached the atmosphere. But their help came at a cost. Every time they used their light-born abilities, their bodies grew dimmer, their voices weaker. The Ilari were burning themselves away to keep humanity alive, and humanity began to see them not as invaders, but as saviors slowly fading in silence. Not everyone welcomed them. Riots broke out in cities. Militias formed, demanding the aliens leave before they consumed what little was left. Shots were fired. Towers were burned. In one violent night, dozens of Ilari were killed in Los Angeles, their glowing bodies flickering out like candles in a storm. Daniel and others tried to protect them, but the damage was done. The Ilari began to retreat into isolation, their trust broken. Humanity had been given a second chance, still chose violence, but one Ilari, the young being Daniel had befriended, stayed. It told him its true name was unpronounceable, but in human tongue it could be called Lyra. Together, they searched for a way to stop both species from perishing. Lyra revealed a secret. The Ilari ship still carried a fragment of a dying star, a seed of cosmic energy capable of reigniting Earth's failing biosphere. But to release it required a sacrifice. The seed was tied to the life force of the Ilari themselves. If activated, every last one of them would fade into nothing, leaving humanity behind. When the truth spread, a debate tore across the world. Could humanity allow another race to die for them? Or was it their duty to finally learn to give rather than take? The Ilari themselves insisted they had come to Earth not only to survive, but to ensure their light lived on through humanity. They would give their final gift, even if it meant their end. The day came beneath a storm-dark sky in the Nevada desert, where the Ilari ship stood silent. Daniel stood with Lyra at the heart of the vessel, tears burning in his eyes as he begged them not to do it. But Lyra only smiled, its silver eyes glowing faintly. "You carry our light now," it whispered. Then, with the others, it placed its hands on the core of the starseed. A brilliance unlike anything Earth had ever known flooded the skies. For one eternal moment, night became day, deserts bloomed with green, and oceans roared back to life. Humanity gasped as the world awoke. When the light dimmed, the Ilari were gone. Nothing remained but echoes of their voices, woven into the wind, and the reborn earth beneath human feet. Daniel fell to his knees, clutching the empty air where Lyra had stood, his heart breaking and healing at once. The world had been saved, but at the cost of its saviors. Years later, as children played beneath blue skies and crops grew in abundance, stories of the Ilari were told not as myths of invaders, but as legends of friends. Humanity had been given a gift, not of conquest, but of compassion. And though sadness lingered, so did hope. For every time people looked to the stars, they remembered the light that once walked among them and the promise that even across galaxies, bonds of love could outlast death.